The RG406V is the sequel to the massively popular RG405V, but can the RG406V relive the popularity of the RG405V, and can it add anything extra to what was a uniquely brilliant concept? I've been using the Anbernic RG406V exclusively as my #1 console for the past week to answer these questions, and this is what happened. The RG405V was a special kind of product, the kind of product that jumps out from the niche customer base and into the eyes of regular everyday consumers. For those of us that are close to the retro handheld world, new consoles pop up all the time, and the RG405V was just another one. However, most people outside of this quickly growing community still don't know much about these consoles, and most haven't heard about Anbernic or Retroid. However, the RG405V was the first time I started seeing people that never talk about retro handhelds start taking notice. I even had people telling me about this cool new console they were getting for Christmas. I think a huge part of this was the oversized Game Boy made of wood look that the RG405V did so brilliantly. It made you take notice. So the RG406V was an easy choice for Anbernic. However, I'm not sure if it's going to make the same impact. Mainly because they've dropped the wood effect look for more standard colour variants such as beige and grey. I personally like the beige and grey styles, but they certainly don't make a visual statement like the wood effect did. Other than the colour options and the addition of RGB lighting, the RG406V shares the same design as the RG405V, which means it still has digital R2 and L2 triggers, which seems a bit of a shame. With handhelds pushing out such great GameCube and PlayStation 2 emulation these days, analog triggers add much more value than they did in the past. And it would be really nice to see a vertical handheld as powerful as the RG406V introduce analog triggers. When I opened the RG406V box, the thing that did take me by surprise was the analog sticks. They seemed really small. Now, in comparison to the RG405V and other consoles, the sticks aren't actually small, but they appear smaller because they sit so tall off the console. Noticeably tall in a way that looks weird on a handheld console. With the RG406V being a console that can handle GameCube and PlayStation 2 emulation, I was eager to jump back into the thing. I'd been playing it on my Retroid Pocket Mini, and with it still being the build up to Halloween, I wanted to get further into the game, and the RG406V handled it brilliantly with no tweaking needed. It was while playing the thing that I realised why the analog sticks are so tall. Previous Anbernic consoles like the RG556 haven't had as much stick range as the competition from Retroid, with the reason being the head of the stick hits the console, reducing its range. So with a taller stick, there's more range before the head touches the edge. I think Retroid's design creates a more elegant and pocket-friendly solution, but I'm glad to see Anbernic making improvements in the controls area. Later that night I was flicking through the TV and came across Mission Impossible 5. I absolutely love the Mission Impossible franchise, and it reminded me of a PS2 game I've wanted to play for a long time, Mission Impossible Operation Surma. Back in the day, I always passed on picking up Operation Surma as I didn't have much money as a student and had to choose my game purchases wisely. Games like Burnout and GTA always won that battle. However, a part of me always remembered how much I loved Mission Impossible on the PS1 and wanted to give Operation Surma a chance. And now was my time to finally do that. I started up Operation Surma with low expectations, as there were many spy and stealth games during the PS2 generation that were half-baked, and part of me feels like this could just be another one. But just 5 minutes in and I fell in love with it. Mission Impossible Operation Surma instantly gave me those warm fuzzy feelings of a cheesy spy game that I absolutely love. Surprisingly giving me the same vibes I used to get from games like the PS1 Mission Impossible and PS2 Bond games. The RG406V did a fantastic job of keeping gameplay smooth too. There were, however, a couple of moments where the emulation did appear to stutter, but this was easily solved by putting the RG406V into high performance mode. Now you might think I'm crazy, but for as much as I love Mission Impossible, I decided to switch it off and go back to the thing. You see, anyone that knows me knows that I'm a seasonal gamer who loves to play certain game genres at different times of year. And with November just around the corner, aka the month I love to start playing spy games, I decided to wait a few weeks to fully enjoy some cozy espionage. Wanting to get as far through the thing before the end of the month, I wanted to take the RG406V around with me everywhere I could. But this proved easier said than done. The analog sticks feel great to use with them being so tall, however the trade-off for this is pocketability, or lack of. The original 405V wasn't the most pocketable device due to its size, however it was doable. The RG406V on the other hand is not pocket friendly at all. The sticks protrude so much to the point where the 406V is uncomfortable in all but the biggest of pockets. Beyond the discomfort, the issue is worsened by the fact that it feels like the sticks are prone to damage owing to the fact that they are constantly under some form of pressure in your pocket. Something that was proven when I tried taking the RG406V out of my pocket and both heads of the analog sticks popped off. Now, they're designed to do that and easy to put back on, but not really what you want to be happening unless intentionally so. But the RG406V is clearly not designed to be a pocketable device. It just feels too fragile to carry around in a pocket, mainly to do with the sticks, but also the screen feels fragile as well. It's definitely best when taking it around with me in my baggy coat pocket or in my car, or even better, just using it around the house. And when using it around the house, I could easily get a full day of charge out of it, if not more. Later on in the week, and I got a bit stuck trying to find where to go next in the thing, so I was tempted to sneak a look at a walkthrough, but instead decided to just try out some of the games. An Android game I've wanted to play for a while is The Escapists. However, most of the retro handhelds I've tried it on aren't compatible with it, and the same can be said for the RG406V. However, I did notice on the app page that it says it's compatible with the Retroid Pocket Mini. I'll definitely have to install it on that after this week. Instead, I decided to jump into some Minecraft and play it with my son. The RG406V, like most Android retro handhelds, plays Minecraft with ease, and it's game experiences like this where the RG406V really shines. In the past, I'd always considered vertical handhelds to be more retro friendly, to the point where I'd only consider Game Boy and SNES games on them. But Anbernic's latest vertical releases have really changed my mind. Playing any game on a vertical handheld really does have its charm, and I'm now starting to find myself split as to which is my favourite form factor. I think for now though, I'll stick with the horizontal for PS2 and GameCube until we get analog triggers on a vertical handheld. As the week closed, I was relaxing watching the F1 with my console next to me. Unfortunately, Lando didn't beat Max this time, but I was able to console myself by downloading and playing some F1 on the PS2. And this is what's great about the RG406V. It's such a fun console to have around. It comes with all the benefits of an Android handheld, but with all the charm of a pure retro device. Being able to pick it up and experience so many generations of consoles in a device that looks like it should really only play up to PS1 really adds to the charm. The original RG405V captured so many people's attentions thanks hugely to its great design and concept. The RG406V, on the other hand, I don't think will have that same impact. It just doesn't have the initial wow factor of the original. However, what it does make up for is the great power it now comes with, and much smoother emulation it provides. Original RG405V owners might overlook the new release, but they'll be missing out on a more refined and overall better console, albeit a not very pocketable one. However, if you are looking for a console that packs a huge GameCube and PS2 punch, even more so than the RG406V, and is incredibly pocketable, then check out my new favourite console right here.